fully funding Prop 36 is a big priority of mine. I can't recall the last initiative that passed all 58 counties. Even the most liberal counties of Marin and San Francisco voted affirmative on Prop 36. And we're gaining ground, actually. Not only did I introduce my bill, but I sent a letter to the budget lead, Laird, to fully fund it at $400 million. A separate letter was just sent by Umberg, Blakespeare, and Richardson, asking for that same $400 million. So that's a bipartisan ask. And again, it should be, because it passed all 58 counties. Almost 70% of the vote voted for Prop 36 to give law enforcement the tools they need to keep us safe, that we have funding for mental health and drug addiction issues, that we have money in probation. That's an accountability piece. Right now it's at 0. And so we're gaining momentum to give law enforcement the tools they need to keep us safe. And Democrats, Independents, and Republicans voted overwhelmingly to get this done. It shouldn't be this hard to get this funded. It should be the first thing funded, not the last.
How are you going to fight the billionaires tax if it were to pass in November, if you win re-election?
Well, I think the billionaires tax is just crazy. The very fact that Fox News said that we lost $1 trillion in our economy just by the very fact of the proposal being introduced. So it's not only that we're losing those billionaires leaving and fleeing the state of California, but they're taking their businesses and their investments with them. I would remind everybody, 200 people pay for almost 10% of our budget. You want a budget deficit in perpetuity? Keep going after those 200 folks who actually take their money and invest in California. And that's why Fox News projected that we lost $1 trillion just in our economy, just from the initiative being proposed.
Are you going to introduce legislation that would aim to block the billionaires tax or more funding going towards the BART system?
Well, I will fight against the funding going to the BART system. And then in terms of the billionaires tax, I'm not sure if it's going to qualify or not, but if it does qualify, you will have no voice that's louder to campaign against the billionaires tax than myself. I will fight, and I'll do everything I can to make sure, because if that were to pass, we will have budget problems in perpetuity, dramatic budget problems in perpetuity.
You said something yesterday, it kind of goes to this piece about California doesn't have a revenue problem, it has a spending problem.
Wasteful spending problem.
And you want to cut waste, fraud, and abuse. A lot of Republican voters or conservative voters think that we have budget problems because the state spends too much, but you don't want to cut programs and services. You just want to cut waste and fraud.
No. There's going to be some programs I can definitely cut. Like,
what would they be?
Well, right now, the high-speed rail is on the top of the list. Right now, the healthcare to undocumented immigrants, it would be dramatic. Off the top of my head, BART, yeah, because that should be a local thing that's done.
I know that a number of Republican lawmakers have put forward proposals to make California more affordable. What do you want to do this year, next year that would make?
So I voted on a bill. I'll get you the number, but yes, this week I voted on a bill. It was a bipartisan bill that allowed you to have biosimilars in terms of drug cost. So now you can actually purchase the less expensive drug. I've pushed, again, the gas is one of them that would also lower gas prices and grocery costs. I'm working on ways on ways in the energy committee to try to lower energy costs. I'm working on a couple bills that will kind of alleviate the overlap on kind of the mandates that they have on our electric bill, being another one. But there's so many different, and the other one is an initiative that I'm working with Bob Hertzberg that allows people to buy that first home. And a lot of people can't afford that. 20% down is a big barrier for a lot of young families. And so what we do is we get private revenue bonds, sold private revenue bonds to help those folks. So they put 3% down instead of 20, and that allows them to put that money down. And as they pay their mortgage back, they pay back the bondholders and the mortgage. Well, and in many of those cases, the mortgage will be cheaper than what they're paying in rent. And so that's an ability to help young people and families get into their first home. And so I'm working with Bob Hertzberg on that initiative that's likely to qualify for November. And that's a bipartisan initiative to help a lot with the homes, people buying that first home. And then in terms of homes in general, we need to have CEQA reform. We need to work on things that we have to do. The problem is we're going the opposite direction. Last year's budget we had a vehicle miles tax that was added onto every new home that was being built, and the average was $25,000 per new home that's built. That's going the wrong direction. And continuing this legislature, they say that Democrats and Republicans both say affordability crisis is the issue, but too many of the policies that they're doing in the majority in the House, in the legislature, are taking the affordability the other way. They're making it less affordable for our hardworking families.